I'm Lou Jacobs,
And I'm Cindy Hart.
and we're on the Three Count Podcast.
Do you wanna get live with me? Do you really wanna ride with me? I'm in the club, baby, grind on me.
Welcome everyone to another great edition of the Three Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And by now, with this being season 5 and our 380-something episode, I would just hope you say it with me. I am your Sherpa, because like your tribal chief, acknowledge me. But like every good Sherpa, you gotta have someone who's been there, done that, and can do it more efficient you can. That's why it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring today? Well, you can find them at NWW, MPW, OWF, OCW. They are a worker, a manager, a networker, an actor, a stuntman. They have a lot of roles if you can't tell. They are currently co-owners of Outkast Wrestling Revolution. This is Lou Jacobs and Cindy Hart. What's up?
What's going on,
The
man?
ceiling mostly.
So it was so much fun because like I got to run into you guys at a charity event in Boston.
Everett. Yep.
And then we were just sitting back having a good time, just talking. And it almost felt like we were just reminiscing about the past,
Yeah.
even though it was the first time we met. I feel like that's how good relationships have to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But so we actually had like a lot of mutual friends, which was kind of funny because, like I said, it was like the first time. But it goes back to me. I talk about a lot on this show where you always end up meeting somebody who always seems to be like one link away from knowing somebody who knows somebody, and I think it's hilarious how much more it grows and grows.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Definitely.
So let me ask you guys a question. First, Lou, I want to ask this question to you, and then Cindy, you can follow up. But who is Lou Jacobs and who is Cindy Hart?
Well, Lou Jacobs is a movie star, a stuntman, all of the above. Has been in professional wrestling for 24 years. Started on the West Coast, made his way to the East Coast, has wrestled in Mexico, has been on international TV. I'm the guy who is out there. I'm out there for the stage.
Also former military in the Navy. He served. That's pretty important to mention. He forgets that a lot.
Yeah.
He's a great person. Great person.
I was gonna say, don't worry, because like especially with me, the only reason why I even mention it that I'm in the military, it's in the catchphrase just for my character.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I probably wouldn't mention that I was former military as much. Like people just it wouldn't be something I would talk about unless like someone came to me and was like, yeah, I was in the military. It's like, oh, me too. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I'm from Nebraska.
Yeah. And it's definitely a way to connect because those of us who've been in the military, and it doesn't even matter what branch, especially once we get out. Like if you've been in, and there's that other brotherhood there that you kind of have.
Yeah, it's something I joke about a lot with I have a couple guys who are literally going into the military for their run. And one of them was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm going into the military. I was like, what branch? He was like, Marines. It's like, why? He's like, what? I was like, bro, like you're too smart. You're too smart for that. Like, can you do math? He's like, yeah. I was like, then you don't need to be in. Like, you're good. Like, go to the Navy or go to the Air Force. Do something. Go be intelligent. Be smart. And
even the Marines will tell you that.
Yeah. So he's like, well, I thought it was just like all or nothing. I was like, listen, bro. Everybody in every branch has an all or nothing. Like the Marines are not the all or nothing. I was like, the Marines stand for muscles are required, intelligence not essential. And he was like, that does spell Marine.
And my ass rides in Navy equipment.
It was funny because like I talked to a lot of the older veterans, and the one thing that they say too, they'll be like, do you know what shit sounds like when it hits the fan? Marine. Don't worry, guys. We love you guys too. Okay.
Oh yeah, I was a corpsman, so I love my Marines. Like I was with them. So
I worked a lot of missions with Marines, and I did a lot of training missions with them too. So like, yeah, we know love, but yeah, we still gonna shit on you guys because you guys' bases are fucking horrible.
Oh, I'll tell you what though, there's no love like a Marine's love for his corpsman.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. They got to save you. It's funny because like I have a couple buddies. They were all former. They all of them coincidentally had to fail out of JP for being a PJ school. So they failed out. But one of them had the craziest story. I can't tell you guys here. I will tell you guys after. It's one of those like it's the no shit stories. But yeah. So it's always interesting. But yeah, I love being able to connect with veterans and talk with them and stuff like that. Especially recently, last year. I don't know if you guys know who Brian F. Pro is. He does a lot of the collages for.
I know who that is. Yep.
Yeah, so he did the military one last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. I was the one who started that whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
I asked him. I was like, "Yo, can you get us a collage for all veterans?" And he's like, "Yeah." So when that all started with him, that was all my idea first that came through, and then like I was super excited to be able to showcase like all the veterans.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's amazing.
But Cindy, what about you? Who is Cindy Hart?
Oh man, well, my resume isn't anywhere near as impressive as this guy's. I will just say that much. So I just wanted to be a pro wrestler when I was little, and then I wrestled in high school, and then I trained for a while. Then they told me I couldn't, so I took a step back. I did other things like managing, and I took a few hiatuses, kept coming back, did ring announcing for a little bit. I stepped into ownership of OWF with someone, and because I relocated to move in with this fine fellow, we had split brands, and we are now starting OWR. So I'm the co-owner of that. I do go to school for criminal justice. I got to go register down here now because I was in Massachusetts. I do hair and nails, and I love animals, and I'm a mother. And I pretty much do and say what I want, and nobody's going to talk to me any type of way. If they do, then I'll talk to my crap until I can't, and then when somebody beats me up, I'll just walk around saying it with a black eye.
America. That's what
America.
It is.
I ain't hear no bell.
Yeah. That's a good one.
The funniest part is that we had South Park on earlier in the bathroom, and all I hear out there is Carpet Bride, and that's what you reminded me of when we first got on. And I had to like hold myself together and be like,
it's so funny because like people, like I'll talk to people all the time, and because we're in the New England area, people ask me all the time. They're like, "Where are you from?" Because you sound like you're from the South. I was like, first of all, never again in your natural life will you ever say that to me. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Nebraska. I was like, I'm nowhere near the South. And then they're like, "Oh, well, you just sound Southern to me." I was like, that is not fair. There's like Maine, and that's it. That's all above you. Like there's nothing south of you. Everything is south of you. Is like
That's true.
it's maddening to me. And then I talk to people from the South. They're like, "Oh, you sound like you're from the North." I'm like, what the fuck?
Everywhere you go, it's just a different type of accent.
We don't like Steve kindly to your kind. He.
Oh, we do plenty of impressions. I got a Southern one too.
Oh, even better. I mean, I have an Eric Cartman one. That's my pride and joy.
I wish I could say my Southern accent is fake, but yeah, no.
He's actually from the South, so.
See, we get it. We know the South works. If you know a couple like cliche things to say, like the South slur comes out so easy when you're just like, yeah, I'm just about as naked as a jaybird, and everybody's like, oh my god, yeah, you sound like
bless your heart.
Bless your heart. That boy's
Which we all know what that means.
I'm always laughing when I tell that to that one, and that boy's touched. That's my that's my favorite one because I like telling people like, yo, you touched. Yo, so all right, so obviously this being a wrestling podcast, you guys know this, but what was the moment that got you into the business? Not necessarily like what got you into wrestling, because listen, we all fans of wrestling, but what was the thing that like you're like, damn, I have to do this?
When I found out that wrestling schools actually existed, I was like, what? And everything else just from there I should say it keeps me to where I'm at right now. But he still has a lot of gas left in his tank, and he's been everywhere. He's wrestled everywhere, and I am also curious to see what his hook moment was, I should say. Yeah, hook moment.
Well, so I was in high school, and I was at the tail end of my high school, my senior year, and a bunch of friends brought up a newspaper article with me about wrestling school and stuff like that, and it was in the article. And mind you, I was in San Diego, California. That's where I went to high school. And then a buddy of my dad's, because we lived in military housing, and so because my dad was in the Navy. And so a buddy of my dad's, who was also in the Navy, took me to a show. It happened to be the same show that was in the article, because he was a wrestler. So I watched him, and then that was my first really. That was the first time I'd ever been to a independent show, or even knew about independent wrestling. And so from as soon as I graduated high school, I sold my car and I put down so that way I could go to wrestling school.
Oh, I like that. See, for me, like one of my big moments was I've only told this one a couple times, but my favorite moment that got me in, I was like, I have to find a way to get into this business, was and I'll tell you even the date, right? February 14th, 2011, when it was announced that The Rock was coming back to be the guest host at WrestleMania. That moment, literally, like I think about that moment every once in a while, and I just feel like just the goosebumps just racing down my arms, and my hair just stands up, and like I get so excited because it was like genuinely it was a pop moment for me. Like I knew, like, you know, social media wasn't as big as what it is now, so like there wasn't really that big of a spoiler, and I knew a lot of people already knew like who it was, and I didn't care. So for me, I was like, oh, this is it. Like I have to find a way to do this, because I was like, I got addicted to the moment, and I was like, I really want to have these kind of moments. And then kind of like traveled around, and then finally I just ran into a kid who was working in the dark arts. And I was like, hey, let me find out what this is all about. And then I finally found a friend who was a pro trainer, and I was like, yo, let me jump in with him. And you know, I started talking to him. We started working. Next thing you know, I was like, oh, can I get into the ring? Can I hang a bit? Can I just give it the college try, and then we'll just see what happens? And then here we are, almost 5 years later, like still doing this thing. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
And you're still pretty good at it too.
I'm trying. Like, I'm just all I can tell
do.
Yeah, I just think, because like I always make fun of my daughter whenever she's like working on something and she can't figure it out. I'm like, yo, just 10%. That's all I need you to do. just be 10% smarter than with the thing that you're doing. And for me, when I'm in the ring, I'm like, yo, can I just 1%? Okay, just 1% better.
1%.
Just 1. Like right now, like I think I'm like, with all the matches I've had on, 45% better than I was, 2 years ago. So we're progress.
You ever watch your old matches back?
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. I just watched one of them back. I watched my second my second match ever. I watched it back, and I was like, just critiquing the shit out of myself. And I was like, bro, you lame. Your face is in the mat. Get up.
Yep, I do the exact same thing. All my old ones, I'm like, why are you dying? Get up. Show some fire.
The crowd's not even responding to you because you're not giving him anything to respond to. Like I was like, man, I hate me right now. Like, and I'll stop myself and I'll write timestamps, and I'll be like, I literally watching this match like I do my friends, and I was like, I just overly critique myself all the time. Like I think even for me, like my entrance, like my song came on, and I was like, not enough fire. That was like,
I know I got a bunch of old cassettes. The only thing is because when I started in '99, so like I have a whole bunch of high 8 video cassettes, and I got to find a way to like convert those because I haven't even watched any of those in a long time because I have to find some way to watch them.
I was 10 years old in 99.
That's
To be-
crazy.
I don't want
to
to.
say.
That's
Yeah.
I was going into high school the following year.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Now I feel like the baby.
I mean, you and I, we could talk about. We'd be like, "Yo, man, like we knew Y2K was around the corner. Everybody was freaking out, you know. Like, oh my god, the stock market's gonna crash because like we don't know if the computers are smart enough to turn over to 2000." What? That was a thing. Like,
Even I remember that.
Yeah.
for you folks at home who are too young and don't know what we're talking about, yeah, that was a whole thing that happened. We thought the computers were too dumb and that they weren't going to switch over to 2000. And the whole world was going to go to hell in a handbasket. And
Yeah.
That's where Y2J came from.
there was so many. Remember, there was so much 2Ks that came out. Like everybody was talking about it. Like Will 2K was a thing. Like Millennium. Like,
Yeah.
we had lots of wild things happening that time frame. I was
That's
like,
when we
"Oh,
started getting the 2K sports though too.
yeah. Well, the Dreamcast. For those who don't know,
Yeah.
figure it out. Google it. That's what you guys do. I love 2K. Randy Moss was on the cover, and then if you had NBA 2K, you got AI. Like, yo, yes,
Yeah.
bruh, that was a moment. Those were great games. Also ahead of their time. Like a lot of people don't realize. Like,
Oh
how
yeah.
good those games really were. Yo, so let me ask this question. Because you guys are starting OWR, you know, you guys are set the tone for something new. What are the things that you look for in a worker to come work at your promotion?
Okay, so there's quite a few things. Number one, are they a safe worker, and two, their work ethic. Do they help build the ring? Do they load the ring in the truck? Do they stay after? Do they help the guys who are struggling? That kind of stuff to me really stands out, and work ethic it means a lot to me as a promoter, just from a promoter standpoint. And also like I would never tell anybody like you can't go work here and you can't go work there. So I don't expect people to like come up to me and be like, oh, okay, is it okay if I go here? You know, that I don't care. That's, you know, I think everybody should win. So that's a thing. So anybody who's like not full of like a lot of problems, who has good work ethic, who's a good worker, just a safe worker and one that can work, I should say.
I like that. Those are important.
And I'm looking for, you know, I mean, as a wrestler who's been in for a very long time, you know, I'm looking at the stories, you know, who can tell a story in the ring. If I give you something and, you know, it may not be what you want, it may not be, but what can you do with what I give you? You know, can you make magic with what I got? You know, maybe something that, because promoters find this all the time, that you have last minute changes that you got to throw in there. Okay, this is what we got.
Even now we've had setbacks with injuries and everything else, so you have to work around those things, and then plans change, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, but what can you guys do with this?
Right.
You know, what can you do? What kind of magic can we make with this that want to keep people coming back?
We also don't want to use the same like 10 guys you see on every show, you know what I mean? We kind of want to be different. We want to bring some people in. We want to raise money for the schools. That's the school programs around here. We were talking about that, which would be fantastic. Where our venue is, it's actually at a UConn campus and at Avery's Point, and the students and anybody military get a discount for their ticket, and there will be flyers all over the school, which is fantastic. So you know, we're hoping for a big turnout and some big things. It's a beautiful venue at a beautiful place, like right off the beach. So we're excited. We're ready. We've already been cooking up some things, and we can't wait to show everybody what we have cooking, I guess.
Yeah, and with my ties, because I came from the West Coast. You know, I was originally a West Coast wrestler. I came up in, you know, California Championship Wrestling, Revolution Pro, NWA California. So I've got a lot of people out there, and I want to kind of bridge that East Coast West Coast thing and bring some of those guys here to work with the East Coast guys, just to see how well they work together and just to show people some new stuff.
I like that though, and you know, I have a good friend of mine. He's been on the show a couple. Well, he's been on the show once. I'm trying to get back on the second time. But he said it on the show too. He said, different ingredients make different recipes, and I love that idea of just being able to mix different flavors and like just seeing what's gonna happen. Like someone's gonna have some kind of magic that you're never gonna see again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a couple friends that I love working with because like we always try something new. We'll always look for something new to do and to mix it up. So yeah, no, I definitely love the aspect. And then it goes back. I mean, everybody looks for someone that has good work ethic because if you are just a shitty person, period, no one's really gonna want to talk to you or book you or hire you.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk into a show that I'm running and you don't even shake my hand or look me in my eye at all, like, that might be a problem too. That's, locker room etiquette is it was big when I was younger and the way we were brought up. And so it's so big to me.
Especially the person who's paying you.
Yeah, like if I'm paying you, like you better come shake my hand. In fact, you better hug me. I'm a hugger sometimes. Only with Benny the basketball when I cost Lewis his match. I'm so sorry still, but I love Benny and I was taking a selfie with him and he just happened to see it and get distracted and then he forgot about what was going on in the ring and then just saw me taking a selfie with Benny and freaked out and came out and argued with me and Jermaine got the win. I'm going to tell it to everybody because he doesn't understand. Benny the basketball is a national treasure.
He is. He really is.
See?
Yep.
And everybody who tells him that, he's like, nee.
But there's also a place and time, right? When you're in the ring wrestling, that's probably not the place and time to do it.
I hadn't seen Benny in a long time.
And you know what? Full transparency, Benny might have been just a baby basketball when you saw him last time. So
Yeah.
we don't know the life cycle of a basketball. We just know
Exactly.
it's not big.
You just never know how much time you got with anything. So the second I saw him, I just knew I had to get a picture.
I watched. Listen, I saw Benny get deflated. Like I watched it happen. I watched Benny.
I saw that.
I need that video.
Jermaine sent it to me, and I was like, no. Whoever ripped in half.
I definitely quote tweeted it when I saw it, and I quote tweeted it out. I was like, "No, not Benny."
Oh, no.
Hey, all right. So this is like another fun question I love asking people. And you guys, I hope you guys have different answers. Well, we'll see. But what's one of the hardest lessons you've had to learn being in the business?
That's a good question. So it should go without saying, but I'm just gonna say, like, don't talk to people with seniority like you know something that they don't. I will leave it at that. Sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble. Hasn't in a long time, but like I said, I'll say what I want till someone beats me up. Then I'll say what I want with a black eye.
Oh man, it's a tough one because there's so many lessons you learn.
Maybe don't put your feet down during a suplex.
And I've worked with so many people that are higher echelon, like R-Truth and Rey Mysterio Sr. and guys like that. God, one of the biggest thing, don't half-ass it. Working with guys from Mexico and stuff like that, like Psychosis and Damien 666 and Halloween. I remember they used to tell me all the time, they're like, hey, if you're gonna hit me with a chair, hit me with a goddamn chair. They're like, otherwise, don't, because otherwise I'm gonna whoop your ass if you make it look bad.
Well, that just reminds me of it. What was it? Was it Eddie? Eddie called out getting a chair shot. He's like, if you're gonna swing, it was either him, it was Rock and Ken Shamrock. They're like, if you're gonna swing it, swing it, and they did. And
it was Shamrock. I remember that interview. He told Rocky, he's like, just go for it.
Yeah. But on the other side, though, there was somebody else that was, I think it was Eddie, was like, if you're gonna, like hit me like you mean it. And then like went to the back. He was like, all right, you hit me a little too hard with a chair. Like,
Yeah.
it was a little too wild with the chair. Like, but he was with it.
But
I
it
would
was
think
good.
about those moments. You gotta make it look good. You don't gotta murder somebody.
Yeah, right. Our dog is scratching and interrupting.
Nice. See, my dog was actually just in here, and then she just like walked out.
Well, now
And then,
this dog is over here on my left arm. And
Yeah, so we got 2 giant German Shepherds, and like,
I know,
so they
Siberian
don't do
Husky.
anything small.
yeah, never.
Yeah.
It's bothering me right now. I
So
put my arm
when she's
down.
over there scratching, she's hitting the ground too, and it's like, thump, thump, thump.
It's like knocking on the door, like the police knock. You know the one I'm
Right.
talking about. They just come bam, bam, but not that I would know about the police.
I had a husky pit mix, and he was like 13, but yeah, whenever he scratched, you could hear it like across the house, like, you're like,
yeah.
dude,
Oh yeah,
stop it.
she just wants to be in so bad. She's scared of his cat's also in here. She hates all the animals, so she just hisses at all the other animals.
She's
all
just
day
a
long.
jerk.
Yeah.
Love it.
She's
I
mean.
Yeah, I recently took I showed you guys. I showed you guys the promo of me with my dog.
Yeah. Yep.
The
remember.
cartoon one.
Yeah.
I love that. It's still my favorite promo I've ever done. Like,
That's
Adorable.
awesome.
Yo, so let me hop into my favorite part of the 3 Count Podcast, which is pretty simple. It's called the 3 Count Podcast. 10 count questions, and this is how it works. I'm gonna fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast, and whatever your answer is, that is your answer.
Do we do this separately or do we do
Yes.
5 questions each?
Yes.
No,
Or
you
10
do them
questions.
together. All 10 questions. I want different answers though.
Okay.
Or
Oh, you want
If-
different answers?
if
Well,
they have
it's
to
whatever
be-
our answer is.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if they are the same, they are the same answer. But we'll just figure out for the question. So we'll put on the imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And in the
I'm
words of
excited.
my favorite play-by-play commentator, Mike Goldberg, here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Raw.
Ooh, favorite movie?
The Lion King.
Deadpool 3.
But then I like horror, so I don't know.
No, I love The Lion King, and then I still have to see Deadpool and Wolverine still. So,
Oh, Deadpool is so good. So good.
Apple or Android?
Android.
I'm an iPhone guy.
I'm sorry.
Favorite TV show?
Vikings.
I don't know. I have so many. I'm gonna say South Park.
Love it. Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Pancakes if they're chocolate chip.
I like it. Favorite cartoon?
South Park.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty's good too.
Rick and Morty.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Yeah. Favorite podcast?
Yours. of
3 Count
course.
Podcast.
That's right. Not like we don't have this marketed. You know what I mean?
Hey, he did not pay us to say this. Just letting you all know. I said that of my own volition. Thank you.
Let me see. Nominate one person that you want to see on this podcast.
Interesting. Johan Nara. He's my favorite wrestler.
Good one.
He totally missed the part where I said he's my favorite wrestler.
No, I didn't miss it. I knew.
I have told him, yeah.
Kylon King.
I love that.
He was-
Yeah, he knows. I've been trying to get him on this podcast forever now. I was like, we had one half of, Generation on, Miracle Generation on, and yeah, I was still trying to get him on.
You had Flash on?
Yeah, we had Flash. He was
Nice.
actually full transparency for everybody who's like watching this right now. He was actually the season 5 opener.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
last
I
but
helped.
not, was that?
I helped train those guys.
Hey, see, that's the fan right there. Last but not least, my favorite question to ask every single person who comes on this podcast. Favorite curse word?
C-word. Can I say it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've been dying for that, haven't you? You're like,
This is it.
I've been waiting my whole life for this moment.
This is not gonna be.
It is it's the fourth time that the word's been said on this show. I can tell you all 4 people who've said it.
I say goddamn.
Are they
a lot.
women or men?
Coincidentally, all 3 of them are men.
You have a woman.
I have a tendency to say goddamn it a lot.
I love it.
That's probably a Southern thing, though. God damn it.
God damn it. Damn it, Bobby. That boy ain't right. All right, so those are all my questions for you guys. So the last thing I need for you guys is to let the viewers and the listeners know where they can find you.
We are on Facebook and Instagram at Outkast Wrestling Revolution. And you can catch us at Avery's Point at UConn campus September 7th from 6:30. Doors are going to open probably. And we're going to have a great time. We expect a big crowd. And other than that, we run a school. So if you're interested in becoming a professional wrestler, please get in touch with us. Lou is our trainer. And I do the bookkeeping because F that.
And you can catch me at the Lou Jacobs. Pretty much everything, Twitter or X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well.
In my personal profile, I'm just Cindy Hart, and I guess that's self-explanatory.
Bet. Well, they told you where you can find it. They gave you all the handles. They even told you about the wrestling company that's going on right now. So what does that mean? Like every great part of a wrestling match, we got to take this home because this is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering, and I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And like every good shirt, but it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. So who's entering the ring? You see them right there, Lou Jacobs and Cindy Hart. And you know what that means. Tune in to the next episode and be there, or you're legitimately follow us on all of our social media platforms. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're follow us on Spotify. You're listening to us on Amazon Music. You're even checking us out on that app with the dumb jingle that goes iHeartRadio or whatever they do, right? You're checking out our merch on ProWrestlingTees.com. You're even checking out our merch on ForYourWear.com. You're doing all those things. You're telling your mom about us, your dad about us, your uncles, your aunties, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your best friends, and your enemies, because we love haters too. You're doing all that stuff, or really, you're just kind of waiting for this episode to end, waiting for that outro, and then you're choosing another episode to listen to. Kawaii.
Kirby Brown.
What's going on? It is Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man that leads you up that mountain called wrestling. And what we need from you guys is just kind of show some support, right? We want you guys to go to our YouTube channel at the 3 Count Podcast, go on to our Twitch channel, 3 Count Pod, or even our Facebook page, 3 Count Podcast, and just give us a like, follow, subscribe, even give us a comment, right? Do all that cool stuff. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your enemies, right? Or you can even come talk to us and just chat us up, right? Find us on Twitter at 3Count_pod. Find us on IG and on TikTok at 3 Count Pod. Go ahead and leave us those comments. We want to hear from all of you guys. We're going to keep putting on videos and stuff like that. We want to keep making this content better, so we want your guys' support. Also, if you guys want to, go support us at ProWrestlingTees.com/the 3 Count Podcast, or even find us on ForYourWear.com. Give us the support. Show us your guys' love, because we want to give it right back to y'all. So, in the meantime, love y'all.